This is actually messed up. I should stop joking right now because this is not a happy, cheery story. A 2-year-old, it was 1.5, 2, it doesn't matter, way too young. Because we've had a heat wave here. It's been over 100 degrees for the last week. My air conditioner broke. I slept on my mom's couch last night. It was so hot. It was like 86 degrees in my house. I have an old dog. It wasn't going to happen. So we've had a heat wave. So there was a daycare in Omaha. The daycare, they pick, I believe what happened was they pick kids up from the house and take them to the daycare. They have a bus driver for that. So the bus driver goes to the house. There's 3 kids, picks them up, gets out, drops them off at the daycare, goes into work and do whatever else it is he does throughout the day. Leaves the youngest in the car for hours. The child dies, 2 years old, 1.5, 2 years old, couldn't get out of the seat, obviously. Temperature of 109 degrees. Now, I don't know the full context of what happened. I'm not going to shit on this guy individually because I don't think he did it on purpose. There's no reason to believe that. You know, everyone makes mistakes. Unfortunately, some of our mistakes are just much, much, much worse than others. Have much more of an impact on people than others. So I'm not going to judge this guy too harshly. But what I will say is this idea of daycare, of a standalone, I'm not talking church daycare, I'm not talking after school programs, for like K through 12 type stuff, or for K through kindergartners that go after school when their parents work full-time jobs. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about these standalone daycares. These are a problem, and they have been for a long time, and we have turned a blind eye to this situation for a long time in the name of convenience, and it's time to stop. Let's face the objective reality. I'm not speaking about this daycare in specific or this individual in specific. I have no idea what the circumstances are as of this recording. This guy has been arrested, by the way. Let's face the music here. Daycares, these standalone daycare services like this one, where you leave your children every day when you go to work, for a long time have hired trash bag societal burnouts that are incapable of working anywhere else. I remember when I was in high school, I knew a lot, because the people I ran with, I knew a lot of kids, and college too. Not to the same extent, but high school specifically. I knew a lot of kids that applied at daycares, and the most resounding reason that all of these kids were applying to work at these daycares, you want to know it? You ready for it? It was that they don't drug test. These are the people you're leaving your children with between the hours of 9 and 5 or 8 and 5, Monday through Friday. People who took a job because they could still smoke weed off the clock and maybe on it too. Now, not all of them are shitbags. I'm not saying that. And usually the people that actually run it are actually decent individuals and they're just business owners. And that's not who I'm talking about. It's the entry-level employees. Not all of them are shitbags. I'm not suggesting that. But like 40 to 60% of them are. And that is a concerning amount considering the level of responsibility we give that job. Think about that. Imagine if like 60% of pilots were scumbags that just pissed off at their job and didn't do anything. That'd be concerning. We pay exorbitant amounts of money for everything. Exorbitant amounts of money for the best service for everything, with the lone exception of where we send our kids. Just figure it out here. Go here. Now, it is a lot of money, these daycare services are. They are a lot of money. But there's no we don't I guess I shouldn't say pay exorbitant amounts of money. We don't provide daycare services with the same level of quality control inspections that we do everything else. that we pay for in life. Think about it. Your car breaks down, you want to go to the best mechanic. You know? You want a new tattoo, you go to the best artist in town. You do your research, right? Plumbing goes wrong in your house, you want to hire the best plumber to come fix it that you can afford. And I'm not saying you don't look up the Google reviews of daycares, but you're totally willing to accept some minimum wage slouch looking after your kid. Let's go on Indeed. Let's see what let's see what daycare jobs in Omaha pay. I'm just curious. Let's see what they make. If this was during business hours, we would go. Oh, here we go. Daycare, teacher, infant, toddler, and preschool. I'm not going to name these companies because I don't want to be sued. Child Development Center, $13 an hour. It's the first. There you go. No, I'm not going to say the name. Daycare teacher here, $12 an hour. It's raking in the big bucks. Here's another one. Assistant daycare teacher, $14 an hour. Here's another one. Infant/toddler teacher, $13 an hour. Daycare teacher, $13 an hour. Childcare teacher, $14 an hour. Oh, here's $15 an hour with a $1,250 hiring bonus. With a hiring bonus of $1,250. Because we all know that hiring bonuses traditionally attract the best quality of employees. And here's another one, daycare teacher. Benefits from day one, full-time, free CDA, $750 referral bonus, up to $16 an hour. It's raking it in. Man. You wouldn't want to hire someone. You wouldn't want someone who was being paid $12 an hour to fix your TV. Yet I'll be willing to bet half of you listening to this show are more than content with leaving your children with them. Imagine if you hired a plumber because you had some plumbing issues in your house. And the plumber comes in and you're like, okay, so what's the rate going to be? He's like, I'm thinking about $14 an hour. You would be like, you know what? Never mind. I'm good. I'm going to go hire someone that knows what the hell they're doing. And that's with plumbing. You can pay someone else to fix that guy's mistake. You can't do that when they leave your kids in the car and fry them. So where's this money going? Because that's my thing. So you're paying. I know people that are like, their second high after rent or mortgage, their daycare expense is the second highest thing they pay. It's more than their car. So what, you're paying $300 a week so drug addicts can kill your kids? Where's this money going to? I understand they have to pay for the facilities and they have to pay for the food and stuff along those lines. But where the hell is this money going at that rate? Like one cop shoots a guy that maybe he shouldn't have, and you guys want to abolish the entire concept of police. But, I mean, I guarantee I could look up daycare employee arrested right now and just get hundreds of results from the last couple months. And we're quiet on that. We're totally fine leaving our children with them. Leaving our children with strangers for 9 to 10 hours a day, which no other species on the planet does except us. We're the only one. You go, it's like care.com. It's Uber for babysitters. You go online and you can find a babysitter to come to your house and smoke weed and throw parties and ignore your children while you and your wife go out and get trashed at the bar. So here's the thing. Not only do we leave our offspring with strangers, we basically let these strangers raise them and influence their opinions and their worldviews when that should be our jobs as parents. Now, I understand there's more nuance to it. People have full-time jobs and responsibilities, and they can't be. I get that. I'm not shitting on someone that's sending their kid to daycare. I'm just asking you to reevaluate why you do it, because it wasn't always this way. It wasn't always this. We didn't always leave our kids with strangers when we went to work. when they were too young to go to school. This little thing called feminism came along. You know, because back then, the male, it could be the female as well, would go to work, and the other parent, and most of the time it was the male back then. I don't care what it'd be like today. I mean, if the woman wants to be a brain surgeon while the husband stays home, by all means, yeah, I don't care. But the male or the female or the they-them parent stays home with the kids. It's the way it used to be. But this little scam by corporate America came along called feminism. And it told women, and I'm not shitting on working women, if you want to have a career, I support you. I think you should. You should follow your dreams. You shouldn't be limited by any law or societal constraints to do that. I'm not saying that. But we have to acknowledge the reality, which is that corporate America and the federal government push this concept called feminism. Remember, we always say find the why to the what, for two reasons. Number one, money. Tax revenue. You have two people working full-time jobs instead of one. The tax revenue in that household just doubled. Number two, the corporate America aspect of it, which is also money, but somewhat power as well. Now you can raise prices. Was talking to someone the other day. She told me I bought a house for $40,000, a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house in the 80s for $40,000. And I'm sitting there like, that's like almost, my car isn't much cheaper than that. That's crazy. So now everything gets to be more expensive, and the corporations can add a little bit more and a little bit more. All you got to do is look at the average wage versus the average cost of living in this country. One of these things is not like the other, you know. One is a lot worse. All you got to do is compare. This is new to like the last 40 or 50 years. Like throughout history, back to the caveman days, one parent, traditionally the female, but it doesn't have to be, I want to make that clear, has stayed home with the kids. The other one would go out and hunt and gather and provide and whatever. But now what they've done is they've tripled down on the scam. So they get the tax increase. They get to increase the prices for corporate America. But now you've totally removed the parent from the home. So they're not there for the most important developmental years of the kid's life. They get sent off to these government brainwashing institutions, and the state replaces the parent. And now the state tells your kid whatever the hell they want to teach him. And that's where we're at. Because somewhere along the line, truly, in my opinion, the greatest con that the regime has ever pulled is convincing women that staying home with their children is oppressive, while making PowerPoints in a cubicle for $60,000 a year is liberating. And if you want to make PowerPoints in an office for $60,000 a year, I'm all for it. Make yourself happy. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Do that. Do what makes you happy. But you have to admit, the timing was impeccable, and the results speak for themselves. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to click the link in the description to get the full episode on Rumble. If you prefer to listen along, you could actually get us on Spotify, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio. You can also go to www.outlawstreamers.com to learn more about not just my show, but tons of other great shows and all the exciting projects they have coming up. Follow my socials at Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter and Instagram, at Caleb Salvatore Comedy on the Chinese Spy app that is TikTok, and be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thanks, and we'll see you every Saturday for brand new episodes of That's Based. Peace.